I don't know if you guys have ever heard or go to Fansided. It's a sports website that's modeled after the original Bleacher Report model. Before BR was bought out by I think Turner Sports. In the early days of Bleacher Report, fans wrote on the website and posted articles, not paid sports journalists. And that's what Fansided is, a website where fans write articles on the teams that they're covering or their favorite sports teams. I used to write for both Bleacher Report and Fansided, so I'm familiar with both of them. I wouldn't say that Fansided is a site that I visit on a regular basis, but when I want to check the pulse of a fan base and what fans are saying about certain teams, it's a site that I use sometimes as a reference. There is a lot of excitement right now in the city of Cleveland. I understand it. I get it. The Cleveland Browns, the dumpster fire of the NFL, for the first time in, 18, 20 years, they're in the playoff conversation going into December. The Browns are 7-3 right now, currently the 6th seed in the AFC. The defense, which was atrocious the first half of the season, has really clamped down the last 3 or 4 weeks. The Browns have won 3 of their last 4 games. So it is an exciting time if you are a fan of the Cleveland Browns. Now, those of us who are fans of teams like the Saints, the Steelers, the Ravens, maybe even the Chiefs, we expect to be here this time of year. This is nothing new for us. This is new for fans in Cleveland. And that's okay. That's okay. But sometimes you can be blinded by excitement and overlook what's really going on. There was an article posted on Fansided yesterday by someone who I would assume is a fan of the Cleveland Browns. The purpose of this dude's article was he was making the case that Baker Mayfield is developing into a franchise quarterback. Going into this season, I told you guys that this was the most important season of Baker Mayfield's career. 2020, make or break season for him. Actually, I said that he had the first 4, maybe 6 weeks of the year to prove himself to Kevin Stefanski, and that if he didn't, Case Keenum would be the starting quarterback in Cleveland. When you're winning, things that aren't exactly going right, they tend to get overlooked. Coaches are wary to make a quarterback change when their team is sitting at 7-3 and they're looking to make the playoffs. I'm just going to be blunt here. Baker Mayfield is not a franchise quarterback. He is not developing into a franchise quarterback. Now, I'm not saying that he never will develop into a franchise quarterback, but in my opinion, the prospects are not looking good. It's not heading into the right direction. On the season, Baker Mayfield has thrown for 1,850 yards on 60.8%, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's averaging 185 yards a game. Now, just for comparison purposes, there's another quarterback in the NFL that's thrown for 1,855 yards on 65.9%, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Pretty close stat line. Oh, and this other quarterback only played in 7 games. His name is Gardner Minshew. Now, do any of you guys consider Gardner Minshew to be a franchise quarterback? If you do, please unsubscribe from my channel. I only want smart people following my channel. Statistically, Gardner Minshew and Baker Mayfield are the same quarterback. Actually, Gardner Minshew is better than Baker Mayfield. Truth is, Baker Mayfield's inefficiencies and his weaknesses are being covered up by the fact that the Browns are 7-3. And a lot of the reason that they're 7-3 is because of the defense. If that weren't the case, I think Kevin Stefanski would have benched Baker Mayfield weeks ago. I was sitting there watching the Browns-Eagles game on Sunday, and I was thinking to myself, I'm so critical of Baker Mayfield. It seems like every week. Maybe I'm a bit unfair towards him. I mean, he does have his team in the playoffs for the time being. So I keep watching the game. I'm waiting for Baker Mayfield to step up and take over like a franchise quarterback would do. And I keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. It never happens. It never happens. For the third week in a row, he was blessed with bad weather in Cleveland against an opponent that is mainly a passing team. And for the third week in a row, Baker Mayfield was a disappointment. Happened against the Raiders, a game in which the Browns should have won. The defense held Derek Carr to 16 points. Baker Mayfield led the Browns to 6 points. Happened against the Texans, a game in which the Browns won because of their defense. Baker Mayfield put up just 10 points. And it was happening again Sunday against the Eagles. At halftime, Baker Mayfield had led the Browns offense to exactly 0 points. 0. Not a field goal. Damn sure not a touchdown. Nothing. Cleveland didn't score their first and only touchdown until midway through the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield actually swung the momentum in Philadelphia's favor, let them back in the game. First drive of the second half, he fumbles the ball on the Cleveland 20-yard line. Eagles recover, score a touchdown on the first play. Suddenly, game's tied 7-7. You take away the 9 points that the Browns defense put on the board from a pick six and a safety, and Cleveland loses that game on Sunday. If it weren't for the defense the last 3 weeks, the Browns would be sitting at 5-5 right now instead of 7-3. And we'd be having a completely different conversation about Baker Mayfield. The last 3 weeks, Baker Mayfield's averaging 152 yards a game on 54%. 0 touchdowns. Now, to his credit, he's also thrown 0 interceptions and only 1 turnover in the last 3 weeks. But 0 touchdowns in the last 3 games. One of you guys out there, somebody please tell me how that is developing into a franchise quarterback. I don't see it. Baker Mayfield has had 4 games this season with a quarterback rating over 100. 2 of those were against the Bengals. The other 2, Washington and Dallas. Look at what happens when he goes up against playoff caliber opponents. Baltimore, lost by 32. Pittsburgh, lost by 31. Raiders, lost by 10. The Colts. The Browns should have lost that game against Indianapolis. Baker Mayfield was just outsucked by Phillip Rivers, who threw one of his patented back-breaking interceptions late in the game. In 4 games against playoff teams this year, Baker Mayfield's averaging 169 yards on 53.5%, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The Browns are 1-3 in those games, should be 0-4. And in the 3 losses, they weren't even competitive. You've got to remember, Baker Mayfield is putting up these god-awful numbers with a litany of weapons offensively. Great receivers, 2 great running backs. The Browns have the number 3 rushing attack in the league. It's not like the cupboard is bare in Cleveland and Baker Mayfield doesn't have any weapons like Cam Newton does in New England. And what is Kevin Stefanski getting in return? An offense that ranks near the bottom of the league in damn near every passing category. 30th in attempts, 31st in yards, last in completions, 28th in completion percentage. I think Kevin Stefanski knows this, but this is not sustainable. This level of play from your quarterback is not sustainable for long-term winning in this league. According to Pro Football Network, Baker Mayfield is the 20th ranked quarterback in the NFL, ranked behind such greats as Matthew Stafford and Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers. He's also ranked behind 2 rookies, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. I have said it before on here. Baker Mayfield is the luckiest quarterback in the NFL right now because his team, realistically speaking, they should be 4-6 right now. They should be heading towards a high draft pick. There are rumors going around that the Browns could be looking to trade Baker Mayfield this offseason. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to the rumors, but in some cases where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, I don't see the Browns trading Baker Mayfield. As bad as he's played, he's the best quarterback they had in Cleveland in 20-plus years. Plus, who are they going to get right now to replace him? Instead, I think that the Browns' success this year has bought Baker Mayfield 1 more year. He needs to thank Myles Garrett and that defense on a daily basis because they saved his career this season. Baker Mayfield has 1 year left on his contract. After next year, the Browns have a team option for a 5th year where his salary increases a pretty good bit, or they can let him walk in free agency. So 2021 is going to be a repeat of 2020. Baker Mayfield is going to enter the 2021 season playing for his job. He's probably going to ask for a contract extension over the summer, possibly even threaten to hold out a camp. It's going to be interesting to see how the Browns handle that situation if it happens. You'll have a quarterback who is underperforming, unless something changes over the next 6 weeks. But as of right now, Baker Mayfield is underperforming, and who will likely have led your franchise to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. So what do you do if you're Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns? Do you commit big money to Baker Mayfield? Or do you risk having an unhappy quarterback all next season? Do you risk having a similar situation that the Cowboys have been going through in Dallas? If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm not a fan of Dak Prescott. Not a big fan of Dak Prescott, but at least his supporters could make a valid argument as to why Dak Prescott deserved a contract extension and big money. You can't make that case right now for Baker Mayfield. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Do you guys think Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback? Is he the reason for the Browns' success this year? And if you don't think he's a franchise quarterback, is he at least developing into one? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.